lot of dudes got fantasies about smashing a midget, man.
Oh my God.
Respectfully.
I can't. Okay.
I'm not
All right.
doing
We're
it.
not
It's a lot
going.
of-
I'm not doing this today.
I'm not doing. I'm not fucking.
It's a lot of fantasies, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing that with you.
I'm not fucking no midget.
I am not.
I'm not fucking no midget. You on your own
I
with that
am
one, bro.
not.
You on
We're
your
not
own.
doing
You don't
this.
fuck a midget?
We're not doing this.
Fire one, yeah.
We are
Yeah,
not
a
doing
fire
this.
one. I know ugly shit, a fire one.
Bridget the midget.
Oh my.
I gotta see what she look like.
You don't
Gotta
remember
look-
her?
Have you seen a midget that look like Beyonce? You
All
ain't tapping her?
right.
Strategic theme song of this hustler. Yes. Thank the customer for loving us. Yes. Everything bakery can't fuck with us. Y'all heard me right, you niggas can't fuck with us. Never thought a scale would get me paid.
All right. We back.
Once again.
What's your podcast? What's your point? The podcast. We're here.
Yes, we is. What's good, man? You got that slide smile on your face. What's going on over there, my boy?
Nah, you know, like when somebody tell you about yourself,
You don't like it? You don't like
it
it?
ain't about you don't like it. You disagree with the shit.
No, okay.
So you smile it off.
And Smiley, I always try to see through their lens. Not to say they're wrong. I can't say.
Let me ask you something. Trent said you called me special agent who? Like I ain't see that on the thing.
Yeah, you was
Transparent. It said transparency. You don't think you a good you like to stir the pot in your ways?
I feel like Special Agent Who, right? Where the topic we was talking about, I think you went a little too extra. Like you know, like most politicians, they start out as prosecutors and stuff like that. Like Rudy Giuliani, he was a prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office, right? He got convictions from Nicky Barnes. He got convictions with John Gotti.
Okay.
Then he went on to become mayor, and he wanted to go bigger than that pause, but it didn't win that way. I felt like you had a lot of investment. And really
It's not
trying to get
investment,
me
brother.
convicted.
When it come to homie court, I'm undefeated. I'm Hugh Cochran, bro.
But
So
why
basically,
are you fighting my fight? This is between me and her.
no, I'm part of homie court. So I just asked you a simple question. Did you fuck Raw? If you fucking Raw, what's the need of a condom? You know what I'm saying? What's the need of a condom?
So I felt
All I'm asking, no long soliloquies like you said.
we go again.
I'm telling you, bro, I get to the point. I don't want to hear about how it was planned. All I asked was, yo, Tut, did you fuck her raw? You've been fucking her raw, so why would you need condoms if you fucking your girl raw? That's what I'm saying.
But how you know I put the condoms there? You just going at me like you believe I put the condoms
Bro, that's all I
there.
said. I didn't call at you. You went at it with her. If you looked at that show, it's y'all two going at it. All I asked you was a question, and you laughed when I asked you the question.
Because I felt like you was going a little extra.
Nah, I wasn't. I just asked you a simple question. If your girl had condoms in her bag, would you feel a certain way? That's all I said, bro.
I would have never asked you those questions.
Nah, I'm gonna ask
You
them.
would.
I-
That means
bro,
you would. That the
I have
answer
to be
is you would
biased,
feel
bro.
away.
I was the judge in homie court. We came to a thing, but I have to be biased.
You being a man, I'm always going to favor you
Nah, bro.
over any woman.
Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Sexist.
I don't believe you.
I
Damn
was
right
neutral.
I'm sexist.
Hey, homie court, we
You are
neutral.
I
sexist.
don't-
When you the judge, when you judge me and that man, you ain't take my side or that man's side. You just said
It was two men.
it don't matter, bro.
It does matter. They're women. They're not on our level.
The evidence you
They're
presented.
not on our level.
Yo, bro.
You supposed to
Wait
look out
a
for
minute.
me.
What
You
what
supposed to look
level?
out for
So
me.
what level are we on?
I'm gonna sip on this right here.
Y'all come from my rib. You have a certain position in God's eye.
Whatever.
That's in the Bible. Pull it up.
Anyway,
Yeah. See, when you hit people with the truth, they
I'm not.
charge the
No, I'm not gonna entertain this. This is a whole other
Can I do
show.
my intro?
Yeah, go ahead. Do your intro.
Introduce hold on. Introduce yourself first, then
Hello.
we go through before he go through his.
Hello, I am Kay Swaz.
What's good, y'all? My name Who? Y'all know what it is. Here it comes.
Lotta Melvin, a.k.a. Chuck Murder, a.k.a. the star of the show, a.k.a. Mr. Not Guilty.
Oh my God, this nigga done
Whatever.
done prolong, know what I mean?
Anyway,
This dude right here, bruh.
always.
Know what I mean?
Back to what we was talking about.
No, we're moving
In the
on
Bible,
to
don't it
topics.
come? You
We're
went
moving on to
Catholic school,
topics.
right?
Okay,
Hold on.
everyone.
You went to
Welcome
Catholic
everyone
school,
to
right?
our new show.
She don't want to answer my question. You went to
And
Catholic
we're going to
school,
start
right?
with the topic of older women with younger guys versus older men with younger women.
I feel
Is it a double standard?
definitely a double standard. And the reason why is Mark Anthony was dating that young girl. Marcus Houston was dating that young girl.
Whom they both married.
Yeah, they both married, but people be in an uproar. So much of that. But Cher is dating somebody that's 40 years her age.
Younger,
Khalees is
right.
dating a dude that's older, and Bill Murray.
Right.
And there's no
Ghostbusters, man.
You know what I mean? There's no uproar when it comes to that. You know what I mean? I feel like, people pick and choose when they want to be upset about something and when they don't. And it seems more times than likely when it's women doing the latter,
Right.
they get away with it more than the men do. Men get crucified. Like if I dated somebody my daughter age, I would get looked and frowned upon.
Okay.
Diddy it would be called a predator
Okay.
for messing with Young Miami.
So let's flip this. Khalees, Cher.
Yes.
Who's the other one that recently
Madonna.
dated? Madonna.
Madonna dated Young.
All women with power that have a lot of money. Mark Anthony. Marcus Houston. They have money.
Yes.
And they married regular women that don't have the same level of status as theirs. So do you think it has to do with the status and how much money they have in their bank account? Whether regardless of the sex?
You could have money, but at the same time, there's no flack for Cher fucking with a young dude, and she has more money than him. There's no flack for Madonna fucking a bunch of young dudes. There's no flack for
that's Madonna's
Khalees dealing with an older man. But let's say
now is it confirmed that Khalees is actually with Bill
it's
Murray?
not confirmed. I don't think that.
Or is it just a case
just see
where
a
we
picture.
just saw each
No, it's a
other
picture.
and we
It's
took
a
a
picture
picture
that's
together?
circulating and
So
saying they was a couple. I don't know if
I
it's
mean,
true or
all
not.
the other ones we've seen that they are actually said that they're couples.
Yes.
So Khalees and Bill Murray, I don't buy it. I think it's just a case of we met, we took a picture, and then it went on social media and went viral.
I think more it's more how you feel, and I think a lot of times you have to take that in consideration. Let's just use you for example. Where was you at last night?
I was out partying
What time you came home?
about 3:00 in the
Okay, so
morning.
3:00 in the morning, right? On an average, we're not going to put ages out there
Right.
like that, but would you say like you are kind of different from most women your age?
Yes, I think I am.
Okay, so if we look at that number, right, do you feel like that number or you just feel like who you are?
I feel like who I am.
So if we take that same formula into dating, right? When I think of hip hop, I think about when I thought about bringing you to this show,
Right.
I felt who would be a better person to fit all the checkoff boxes. She's a female, a woman of color, and hip hop like a motherfucker.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, I think this is the fit that we need.
Right.
So
And never in that formula did you think anything about my age. I'm older than both of y'all.
no, I never thought about that.
Okay then.
I wouldn't
So-
even know.
Okay.
Okay, so if the people who don't know you, right, and you dated a guy, we're not gonna put ages on it, but let's just say you dated a typical guy, a younger guy.
Right.
I wouldn't think twice about it because I know the kind of person you are, and the kind of, I think when we date or when we look at people who date, we're not really looking at who these people are because we don't really know these people.
Right.
So I don't know Cher. I don't know Madonna.
Right.
I know their age, but I don't know how they feel.
Right.
And I always always bring this up where my grandfather was he was my grandfather and he was an older guy, but my grandfather couldn't relate to people his age.
Right.
He never did. To the fact when his later years, my aunt basically put him into adult daycare center. I'm kind of spilling the beans now, but my grandfather passed on. So she put him in the adult daycare center. Like this was amongst people. Daddy, you need to be with people your own age where you can go out instead of being in the house.
Right.
Well, by doing that, he linked up with one of the nurses or home attendant. I don't know what they call the people that work there. So he started fucking one of the young girls there. So she gave him more access to pussy than he had before. Because before he was in the house. Now he's going to this daycare center every day and he's fucking one of the attendants and shit like that. Because he couldn't relate to them old motherfuckers that was in the daycare. I'm telling Karen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling the facts. That's what he was doing.
No, but I understand that. It's just the perception.
Right.
The perception of an older man dealing with a younger person is always going to be frowned upon more than a older woman dealing with a younger man.
Right.
Like, think about it. When I was 18, I was taking down son that was 40. What niggas in the hood was saying? Yo, you the GOAT, nigga.
You damn right.
Yo, son, you slaying shorty? Like, I remember going to a girl crib that was older than me. I had Parasuco jeans. Her son had Parasuco jeans. We had the same Jordans on. And the nigga looking at me, he like 11. I'm 18. Nigga looking at me like, I know this not gonna be my dad. Nigga, we look like crisscross over here. Know what I mean? Niggas look like crisscross over here, my boy. Niggas is looking, you know what I mean? So men get props for messing with older women.
Absolutely.
All the time. Like,
Right.
as long as I've known us to be, it's like that. But like I said, when a man, like in DR, it's excessive though. So, you know,
Yeah, I got it.
I think it's damn near pedophilia for me.
Yeah.
If you 50 son messing with a 13, 14-year-old, my boy, it's nothing. I remember I had an argument with somebody, know what I mean? And he was telling me, oh, it's okay over there. It's not okay nowhere. Pedophilia is pedophilia, bro.
Exactly.
You 50, there's nothing in common I have with a thing. Like, let's just say, we just gave an example. My daughter just asked me, Dad, what if I came with somebody that was your age? Me and that man gonna have a talk, and I have to really see if you really love my daughter, bro.
But what if you do really love your daughter?
Then that's something I have to respect.
So, but that's go back to what my grandfather was. That I felt my aunts couldn't accept that their father just couldn't relate to people.
Because it goes to that label. They trying to put a label on your grandfather. They try to put, oh, you old, so you need
So
to do
you
what
need
old
to
people
be
do.
with old people.
And grandpa was like, nah, nigga, I'm not subscribing to that. I want to go
Right.
fuck these young bitches because they on my dick like that. So
Yeah.
let's get to it. Know what I mean?
So it just got to a
Sorry,
point.
Kay. I know.
It just got to a point.
I know, Kay.
It
I know,
got to
Kay.
a point where, you know, basically what I'm saying is you cannot put an age on how you feel.
Right.
No, you can't.
And
If it's genuine. If it's genuine.
Right.
I mean,
no,
you
genuine.
got some sick shit. Now, I'm not
No.
co-signing the sick
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. Because
Again.
there's a lot of niggas that just
I'm
be.
talking about when a person legitimately just couldn't relate. Because you got to think about it. My grandfather is 40-something years older than me. Mm-hmm. And he could sit there and hold a conversation between me and Julio. It's been times when Julio be at my cousin's house. My grandfather was staying over there, and it was like he was one of the guys.
Right.
That's just the type of guy that he was, where he got along with everybody.
Right.
So
Right.
I look at the same way when it comes to dating. If the guy just don't have in common, I don't want to talk about Geritol's and
Right.
shit like that. I want
Right.
to talk about what's going on, and that's
Right.
the type of person he was.
I understand that. I mean, when I tell people my age, they're like, what? Because, you know, once you get a certain age, they see it as old.
I think I think that has to be, the narrative has to be broken down where we change that, because, you know,
Stop putting age on everything.
I don't think
Right. I agree.
48-year-old. I'm basically 48 years old, and I remember my parents at 48. Well, not really my mother, but my father at 48. He was an old 48. Mm-hmm. You know, it's old. My father was, to this day, my father just give him General Hospital some food, and he's good.
Right. Complacent in
Yeah.
his lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. Set in his ways.
And then when I think about like somebody like you, all right, I'm like, all right, she doing her thing. That kind of gives me motivation. Well, hip hop's still here. You know, I still
Right.
this life.
But look, think about it. You making beats, I rap. You don't feel old doing making beats. You don't feel old hearing me bust a rhyme. But you know, at the end of the day, that's something that we love to do. It's like people want to put an age or think about it in music. Elton John's still making music, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's called contemporary, whatever the fuck it's called, contemporary music. They're not saying, oh, Elton John is still old for making music. You love something, you do it.
Right.
Stop putting age on it. Your grandfather was the OG. Like I never seen it. Kind of his kind of shit was something that I wanted to be. I'm like, yo, if I ever get old like that, which I am soon, know what I mean, my grandkids or whatever, I'm gonna be a different granddad than the typical granddad. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like I don't subscribe to that. I gotta be in a home. I gotta wear the flower shirts and you know what I mean. I'm not with none of that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I like to do.
I just think it it kind of makes me feel good. Like when I see like Karen posting pictures and doing the things she was doing and hanging out, and it's really hip hop, and you know, nobody wants to be put off in the parish to just
No.
retire and
No.
disappear and get old. Nobody.
Right.
I want to be still relevant.
I don't
And
feel
do-
46, bro.
I don't feel 48.
I don't feel that. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I drink sometimes and I get fucking hungover, it takes me a little longer to get over this shit.
I was getting the same hangovers when I was.
Not yet, but now what different. But the difference is, I remember I could go to the tunnel, I can go work an 8-hour shift,
Right.
come home, chill, and be all right. Now I can't do that. That's what.
But you know you can't do that, and you make adjustments accordingly.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Correct.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But it's not to say you out the game.
No,
No,
not out the game. 'Cause
no.
I can still do it, but it's just now my recovery is a little bit different than how it used to be.
I mean, that's
That's what age. When you see it in
Correct.
basketball, think about it. Let's talk about LeBron James. A lot of y'all favorite basketball player, not mine, but a lot of y'all favorite basketball
absolutely.
player. You starting to see now in the ladder of his injuries, he's starting to get injured now a little bit more. It's talking about Iron Man dude.
Yes.
Now he's starting to get injured a lot. Why?
Right.
Because it's only so much the body could take. So that comes with age. You know what I mean?
Correct.
After you do something for so long,
Right.
you know your body reacts different. So think about it. When you partying at 20, it's way different than when you party at 40 something.
Right.
I mean, that's a given. That it's different, but it still gives you hope.
No, of course. No.
I think when people that go ahead, you know what I mean, and you're going and you're doing things. I'm a hip hop head. I love music.
No, I love music. I love create music. I like listening to new music, even though some of this new shit is a little bit, you know, something.
I mean, I just look at it like that's their lane.
No, that's their lane. And some of their music is good. Don't get me wrong, because when I start singing a song, you know, I work in the nightlife. So I hear some of these songs, and next you know, I'm home, I'm walking somewhere, and I'm singing this damn song. I'm like, damn. And then I start Googling it.
Right.
And I start listening to the shit. Now it becomes part of my playlist. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day, you just got, like, I guess the way people see things has to change. You know what I mean? Like, you have to treat everybody the same uproar you will have about an old man dating a younger woman. Like, let's just say Miami and Diddy.
Right.
Diddy's in his 50s.
Yeah,
she's
they
in her
definitely
20-something.
have at least a
Oh, they
30-year
got
age
but
difference.
Maybe they vibe is so connected.
Right.
That is the reason why he made her his girl, because she connects with him in a way that no other woman he's dealt with has connected with him in his
Right.
age bracket.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I've dealt with younger women. You know what I mean? I dealt with a girl that was 29, 30. You know what I mean? And the reason why we vibed so well was because the way she thought like me.
Right.
And the connection was there onto a level where before I even knew her age, she moved a certain way.
Right.
She moved like a grown up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like she was a little girl learning how to become a woman. She was already a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you
I
gotta
mean,
understand.
they do say that women do mature
No, they do.
much quicker than
Yeah.
men.
And y'all late
So-
and y'all
and
horny stage is at the ladder of your age instead of the beginning with us as men.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like
Correct.
men, I mean, they say that we lose the luster.
Your
but,
sex
I mean, I'm
drive
46.
decreases.
My drive is amazing still.
I
So
haven't. I'm not trying to pop shit. I don't feel. I'm being honest with you. I don't feel like. I don't see nothing where you know how most people guys say, "Yo, when I was 29, man, I feel like line them up. I still could do the same thing I could
That's
do
how I
like
feel.
that
That's how
when
I
I was
feel.
in my 20s.
line them up, I knock them down.
No cap with that one right there. No cap. I don't know if I'm gonna hit a wall next year, but I'm like, I ain't hit the wall yet.
Yeah, because I remember they tell you like, yo, bro, once you turn 40, it's over. You know, your sex drive ain't the same. I'm like, nigga, I've been more hornier now at 46 than I was at 26. Know what I mean? So it just be. It is what it is.
I'm just being real with you.
You know what I mean? So I feel, you know, that's when it comes to that.
Again, you're as young as you feel or as old as you feel.
Exactly.
I just think a lot of times people.
Stop putting age on shit. That's what I need
Right.
people to do. Stop putting age on anything, because at the
Right.
end of the day, we like to have sex. We like to eat fast food. We like to drink. We like to party. We like to do nothing. It's no age group like, you know, all right, the guys want to go on a trip. Oh, I'm married. I'm this. I'm that. No, we still gonna go on a trip.
You still
guys can go on a trip.
Yes.
Females go on girls trip, and they in
Yes.
relationship with niggas. Like, stop putting like we
Put
quick to
age-
put
using age
to
as a
something. Oh, that
reason.
shit that we didn't know. We can still do that.
Right.
Maybe the things we do is different. Oh, yo, nigga Tut want to go see Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Yo, who, you with it? Yeah, we out.
That's it.
Why not? We like football. We want to go see a
Right.
great quarterback do great things
Of
in a
course.
different stadium instead of Giant Stadium.
Right. Like I had my child young, so I wasn't able to travel when I was younger. But now he's grown and I'm able to travel. Whereas
And live your life.
Whereas people, it was reversed. You travel first and then you settle down and get married and have kids but now today's
Everybody's
society
story's
is so
different.
different.
Everybody's story different.
Everyone's path is
And-
different.
So what is like? This is a good one. What is like being that you so hip hop? Is your son hip hop
My son is hip hop also.
to the degree like you?
Not to my degree, but he's there with me. But not to my degree. I'm like because I was born into that era.
Yeah.
So he wasn't born into that era. He was born closer to more like the 90s.
So let me ask you a question.
I was I was like a late 60s baby. So, the whole 70s, like when hip hop started and, seeing it go from basically what it was called a fad to now where it is, where it's going to be 50.
Music.
Now it's going to be 50 years old.
So let me ask you a question. When was the first time you fell in love with hip hop?
The first time I fell in love with hip hop. See, there's different. I remember when The Message came out, and I was just like, wow.
My first encounter with hip hop that I loved, that I related to, Welfare Check. Just Ice. Welfare check, get your welfare check. Come on, everybody, get your
yes.
welfare check. 'Cause I remember my mom standing on that line. Welfare check, get your welfare check. I was like, oh shit. Then BDP.
Yes.
Brooklyn keep creating it. The Bronx keep creating it. That
and
beat right there.
And actually, KRS-One just performed last Monday at Sony Hall. He did the whole Criminal Minded album.
Wow.
So that's why.
Epic.
My first.
Yeah. What's your first?
Well.
Yeah, my
I'm
first
kind
was
of
The
like
Message.
I've always been with like a producer's mind, and I remember honestly when the not The Message but the Sugar Hill Gang. When they first dropped that single Rapper's Delight, I remember my father bringing that shit home. We lived on 1018 Hoe Avenue, and I was like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Right.
'Cause I'm used to disco and shit, and I heard that. That's my first introduction to hip hop. I look at it, it's like a 3-part series with me.
Right.
That was my first introduction. The second thing was being out from Harlem, and I first heard Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full. And Rakim was the first person, the way he rapped, I kind of understood what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And when he was saying, thinking of a master plan, I'm like, I understood. Yo, I
Right.
need some money. And then to the last part where Julio and my cousin was in a group, and they had this song called Straight Gangsta Black. And I just thought this song was so dope. And I just felt like my cousin and Julio was going to go on and be rich. And I didn't want to be left behind. So I had to sit there and learn how to rap.
You went for Tut Lover. I'll change that name ASAP though.
People don't realize that Tut Murder came from
Yeah,
Julio.
yeah.
Okay.
I call it murder.
Julio name. He's
Listen,
Julio
you talking
said-
about a dude that I know that was in the streets getting money, doing all type of nothing lovely. How the fuck you Tut Lover, nigga? Like, nah, your name is Tut Murder, nigga. We changing that whole name.
I wanted to be with the girls and stuff like that, but
But
you
we
know,
like, nah, you ain't L Cool J, nigga.
but that's what like my 3-step process from Rapper's Delight to Paid in Full.
Right.
That song Paid in Full to Straight Gangsta Black. Actually hearing people I knew on wax
Right.
to like, oh shit, I don't want to be left behind. I need to figure this out. Like I learned, and then sitting with my cousin and he's teaching me how to rap. Yo, you got to do it like this. You got to count your bars.
Right.
To my cousin showing me digging in the crates to actually pulling samples and to learning how to produce myself, and still doing it with him to this day. And it's just like that's just like my connection with youth. So I
Right.
don't think you can I don't have a problem with anybody long as the person is legal. at a legal age
Right.
of dating a younger person,
Right.
whether if it's man or woman.
I guess it's a thing. Like even on the hip hop term, like I remember, like we used to battle niggas and go to places. And I remember when I used to walk into certain parties, they would want me to rap,
Right.
Because they love how I rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
So nigga, I remember that. Like I was good at that verbal combat with people. So like hip hop always gonna be
Oh yeah.
something
That hip
that's
hop
in
is
me.
in
And like
my
I said,
blood.
when I'm creating
Right.
in the studio and I'm with my bro, because you know he like I'm an artist that all I focus on is the music.
Right.
I don't focus on the beats or that technical shit. If you know me, I'll say, yo, Tut the Tut, he a producer. If it's camera shit, holla at Mike or whatever. I don't do, or Harry, you know what I'm saying? I don't know none of that shit. I know what I like to do. I like to get in there. I know how I want my song to sound. I know how the hook I want it to sound. I know what ad-libs I want to put on my joint. And it's the rush when you creating something and you there with your brothers and y'all creating something and you
Right.
sit back and listen to it and you like, damn, bro, we kind of walked on that shit, you heard? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's, like I said, that's something that I could be 75 years old
Right.
at a family gathering. My
Right.
daughter's just doing something for my grandson. Let's just say granddaughter, and me and Tut chilling there, and he like, yo, listen to this, and I start rapping
Right.
in front of
And
my
plus,
grandson.
hip hop is so much more than just the music. Like it's just the culture, the graffiti. Like I remember, you know, riding the trains with it being all tagged up with the graffiti. You know, I remember when the South Bronx was like burnt down. You know, I lived through all that. You know, I remember, you know, seeing some of my guy friends that I grew up with the marble notebook, writing rhymes in the notebooks, and you know the Lee jeans with the creases and the Le Tigre shirts and the Alessi's and the Diodoras and the Sergio Tacchini's and you know all that stuff. Like I grew up on that whole era, which is now kind of resurfacing back. You know, and I remember when I went to see Beat Street in the movies, and I remember Crush Groove
remember
and
watching Breakin',
Wild Style
Breakin'
and
and
Breakin' and
trying to
all
be
that
like
stuff. I
Turbo
remember,
and Onzo.
you know, my
Onzo,
friends,
man.
when me and my friends in high school used to be break dancing on the cardboard and, you know.
Yeah, so it's like you sit there and you know, like I said, I just have a love of hip hop, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I keep my real introduction of production and creating came from Julio and my cousin. You know, because they were the first person that I knew that you know that was actually doing it, and
Right.
then I knew nothing about how to write a rhyme, but I remember we used to have the auditions to get in the crew. You remember that? And I remember like my cousin, he was like, yo, like Julio knew Bashim. Bashim was like the first producer, writer,
He was
he did
everything.
everything.
He wrote my rhymes. Shout out to my nigga Bar, aka Shark Dignity. He was one of the dudes that really got me into rapping.
So
Right.
my cousin, I would go over there on a Friday to Sunday, and my job was just to really learn how to rap, because the next week I had to kind of not interview, but I have to
No, you had to show because
show to get in the crew.
You had an audition?
Yeah, I had to audition to get in the
Okay.
crew.
like when I brought my man Nux around, and they laughed at me. They, you know, H and them, they was like, nah, the ogres. They used to call them the ogres. Now me, him and his brother. So they used to be like, yo, and I'm like, yo, my nigga's nasty. Because I remember one time we freestyle. We was in the same camp together. We freestyled on that bus from when we left on Freeman all the way to Bear Mountain, bro. Niggas was just rapping, going back and forth. I'm like, this nigga verbal game is retarded. I'm like, this nigga's nasty. They're like, yo, I'm like, yo, nigga, trust me. The dude could spit, bro. And you know what I mean? Like, you know, shout out to Cuz, man. That nigga was nasty. He one of the niggas I grew, you know what I mean? Growing up on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see all these wonderful memories. So,
Yeah, nah, hip hop,
you know, hip hop, how it's how it's paved the way.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
was
You
a
know?
block. That block had so much talent. Remember Benif and yo.
Yeah, he's still spitting Nif too. He be having some fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's doing my man 4/5. That's another nigga. He underrated. I do be having some bars, you know.
So it was like the whole block. That whole
It was
block.
a bunch of stuff. Like we used to battle these niggas called Woods Ground. We used to battle them niggas. You know what I mean? I remember banging that shit and then niggas, or they come to party. I battled like 2 niggas one time. It was just me.
So it's like when I came through that block learning hip hop with them,
Right.
I never really lost no battles because I was so used to with them, and I'm not saying I was the best rapper, but
Right.
I was nice with mine, and I never lost no battles. I remember the producer from Nice and Smooth, he had a beat and I wanted it. He said, "Yo, you got a battle for this shit. Spit some." I spit some. He said, "Yo, that beat is yours." I went back bragging to Julio, "Yo, we got this beat." And I went telling them, "Yo, how I had to eat these motherfuckers alive to sit there and do that." So it just should show you how much talent that came from that block. And going back, guys like I knew him since 1990. And we into 2023, so just imagine this was at 33 years. Like, that's a long time.
Yeah, we did some music recently, and then when niggas heard it, they was like, a lot of my dudes, because they be wanting me to like come out with projects and do that shit, but life happens and niggas be busy.
Right.
But he was like, "Yo, tell your man Tut, I said thank you for bringing you back in the booth, because I remember he sent me some shit, and I heard that Shinobi sword swing, and I'm like, nah, what's that?" You know what I mean? And everything we touch has been nothing but magic after that. You know what I'm saying?
And that goes to show that if you're passionate about something,
there's no age limit.
It shouldn't matter. There's no age limit when you're passionate about something. Like, I was passionate about getting my master's degree, and I got my master's degree at 48.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
It's no. I went to my daughter's graduation, and you saw a lot of old people getting
their degrees,
their bachelors or whatever. There's no age
it's
limit.
It's never too late.
You know what I mean, you allowed a thing.
I just think your age is what you feel.
Exactly.
I think age is what, literally, no cliche, but age is a number. But I still feel like I'll fuck somebody up. Let one of them young motherfuckers run up on me.
Ask about me. They know. They know how I
so I just think it's different. I think
it's still here. Them hands still work, nigga.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You still take care of yourself. And I just think it's a matter of how you feel. I love rap. I love producing music. It's just so happy I know this guy so much. I can write. You heard me earlier spit some.
Yes, I did.
Do this like this, and this. Right. I know how he rap.
Right.
I can rap like him. I've been doing with this.
Yeah, you done heard me in the studio 100 times. Yeah.
So it's like I know him better than anybody, and so it's like we still continue to do this to the fact where I love the way music is and everything now. It doesn't. You can I have a studio in my house.
Right.
I can make the shit there.
Yep.
We have cameras.
Right.
I buy some. I speak with my man. We talk about equipment and shit. What kind of equipment we need to do this, or even to do this show. Is this thing's piqued my interest where it keeps me young.
Right.
So if an older person feels good being with a younger person, I have no problems with that.
Right.
See,
I'm an older person with being in love with hip hop.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. How y'all feel, not to get off of this subject, but moving on to the next one, how y'all feel about having
significant others?
Yeah.
Like if you get
being
cool
with your homie's girl or guy, know what I mean? And should you have their IG or their number?
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, that can get a little sticky.
I say for me personally, like let's say you my brother and I have a rapport with your wife. Not on some shit like we been around
like
each other, we done traveled with each other or whatever.
Gatherings and stuff.
And you give me your number. It's more or less like I'm not texting you every day.
Right.
But if I got something happening or I want to do a surprise something for my let's just say touch shorty. We know what I mean? I know,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we cool. Yo, I'm trying to do this for her birthday. See if you could get him to come over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I know backdoor shit where niggas are trying to shoot their shot or no shit like that, because I feel like you shouldn't be texting nobody unless it's like, you know what I mean? So I feel when it come to that, I feel like it depends. If it's family,
yeah, I agree with that.
It's on a family level, it's cool.
Yeah,
especially if you around these people, like my brother, his wife, I got her number. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hit her up every day. I don't do that. But when I got something, I'm planning something, or we, I'm doing Cancun July 6th to whatever. Right. You and Jared want to come?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or send a text out.
Send a group text and include both, because then when you don't include one, and only include the other, then it can get. I think brings suspicion.
I think when you have it's different. I'll give you an example. Like me and Julio, let's just say with his kid's mother. I
Right.
grew up with her.
Okay.
I don't speak to her every day. I haven't seen her in a minute. But let's say, for example, if I seen her, I'm never going to cross that barrier.
Right.
And I grew up with her.
Right.
Around her. So it's not like I'm going to sit there and he knows that it's like that.
Yeah.
Same
Right.
thing with my lady. If Julio was texting with, like my cousin, he had her number. I don't give a shit about that. That shit don't bother me because I just know that's my bro. Like
Right.
you gotta really know who you have
Yeah.
in your circle.
And plus,
with.
if I'm hitting your lady up, I'm not hitting up on some trying to be a sleazeboy. It's like because I'm planning something.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Like, yo,
it's
yeah.
like we all have each other's numbers to
So it's
communicate.
like,
so.
it's more family. I remember one time I had seen his BM on 3rd Avenue and over there by St. Barnabas or something. And I said, yo, I just seen your BM. She be around? And he said, I don't know, but I'll find out or something like that. It wasn't no creep shit like trying to get
Listen, when
with
we
him.
broke up, I remember niggas hitting me up like, yo, I see him walking with some dude. You want me to get out the car and beat him up? I was like, nah, we're not together, bro.
Oh,
that's
God.
that's the type of time niggas be on for me. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because
right.
niggas knew that was my lady at one
Right,
point. So
right.
it's like, you know, if I see Tuck lady in the club with another dude, let's say make
Definitely tell me.
no. I'm gonna tell. You gonna hear about it because I'm gonna beat the nigga up, and then I'm gonna tell you like, yo, I have to fuck this nigga up.
Good looking.
Nah, because it's a disrespect to my man. At the end of the day, period. I'm not gonna tolerate that.
No violence.
If I see your dude, and you say me and your dude was cool,
Right.
know what I mean, and I see him in a spot with another lady,
Right. Then I give
violating
you
my
permission to
sis,
mess.
violating my sis, then I'm gonna beat him up.
Then-
And when you ask me why I beat him up, I'm like, this is what I beat him up for.
Right.
Know what I mean?
Violating.
Because you family. Know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm big on family. At the end of the day, I'm a family oriented type of dude.
I like to feel like I'm an honorable guy, and I just feel like my bond with this dude since I was 16 and he was 15. There's nothing that's gonna take a chance of right there.
Right.
I remember even with me and my cousin, everybody except for the girl that I'm with now and his wife.
Right.
Me and this dude was so close, we would share each other pictures of these women. I'm dead ass serious. Like, and she sent me
niggas
photos.
do that, though.
And the girl used to tell me, make sure you show your cousin. I'm not lying. That's just how it was. Yo, she would send me a new picture. Let your cousin see that one too. Dead ass.
Like me and my shout out my bro H. We do that sometimes. Like, you know, yo, bro, look at shorty I killed. Know what I mean? Or whatever. Not no graphic shit, but you know, you send a picture of how she looked. Know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's shit that niggas do.
You gotta
if you don't know,
you gotta
they
think
do.
about it. H, I knew since H was like 14 years old.
Right.
I'm in my 40s, going into my 50s. I knew Julio since he was 15.
Right.
Even Mike, I knew Mike 20 plus years.
Right.
So these are guys. It's an honor to keep friendships with people for
Agreed.
so long.
Yes.
You don't have that. It's like
Yes.
a brotherhood. Julio called me, yo, Tut, H want to know what kind of camera you got. I like reach out to him. I hit up H. H called me.
Yeah.
Yo, Tut, what kind of camera is that? Oh yeah. I said, yeah, my man Mike told me to get this one. I like the way when we talked about it, we talked for
Right.
like a half hour. This is a guy I knew since the 90s. You don't have that friendship. It's rare.
A lot of
Yeah.
us are
Friendships,
still
yeah.
the same thing. And
Yeah.
if you don't think your dude ain't sent a picture of you, now I'm not saying naked or nothing like that.
Right.
I'm saying a picture of you to his man's like, yo, look who I'm taking down.
Right.
It's my new shorty. Guess what, K? You in the group chat. Know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Respectfully,
yeah,
you
yeah.
in
Oh,
a
yeah,
group chat.
yeah.
Not in a
Of
bad
course.
thing. It's just
No,
it's just
I
what
know.
men do. Men
It's
do that
just
shit.
what
Like, yo,
men
bro,
do.
look at-
I know.
This
Just
is
like
my new. know what I
just
mean?
like barbershop talk.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
what
you know
men
what I
do.
mean?
So you know,
I'm not saying like
when
he
you
had
have
you,
it.
you
Oh,
know
no,
what I mean,
no,
crazy, and you know what I mean, nothing like that. I'm just saying like, you know, niggas brag different. Like, yo,
Right.
look what I bag, bro. Know what I
Right.
mean?
So
Right.
when you have that kind of collaboration with these guys that you know for all these years
Right.
and for extended amount of time, and y'all still friends and you still have your brotherhood. You know, I remember this bugged me out. It was I was working at Ambulette. This is years ago, and I picked this lady up, and she was like, "My son knows you." I'm like, "Son knows you?" She said, "Yeah, my son name is Henry," and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out who the hell is she talking about.
Is that the same H person that
No,
you've been?
no,
Oh,
it's
somebody
not-
else.
It's his cousin.
His cousin.
Oh,
It was
okay.
his cousin. So I
Shout out
called,
to my nigga Hen Dog, man.
yeah. So I called my cousin Spock. I said, "Yo, who's?" He said, "You know him, the Larry Johnson dude." I said, "Oh shit, I used to play basketball with him." From there on, I always kept a relationship with his mother. Like his mom's was mad cool, so that was
Right.
like an aunt of mine, and like I used to always look out for her and stuff like that. It was cool. So it's like you build these relationships, and you gotta kind of. It feels good when you see these guys years later, and you know, and that's one good thing about social media. It kind of keeps that family bond.
Right.
together
Yeah.
because-
Social media is a gift and a curse.
Yeah, so it's
Because
like-
sometimes you don't want to be found.
yeah.
No, but, at
But
first
then
it was-
other
it was
times you
good at
wanna be
Facebook.
found-
Facebook was like, yo, I'm catching up with my high school
Right.
friends.
With your high school
and all
friends.
that.
Sometimes you
And then
find
now
family
it
members.
became more than that because now
Yeah.
people be crying on there. Like, I've never been in so much pain where I have time to record myself crying. It never's going to make sense to me. ever in my life. It's
You're
never
right.
no much pain in my life
So-
where I'll be like, yo,
so-
let me grab this camera and
So in years, just think about it. I
Like
knew these-
what's his name? Tyrese.
Yeah, I don't know about
Infamous for recording himself crying.
Yeah.
What more do you want from me?
that. So you got
Congratulations.
all these relationships that you built with these guys.
Right.
I remember Henry and them used to kick Julio no mass in football until I came on the scene,
facts.
and then that shit changed.
Them niggas was a bunch of fucking hyenas, man.
Yeah. So then when I came about, it was Julio was like, "Yo, good looking," and so it was just
So it was my Andre Rising.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's just like you build these relationships with these guys that you have for
Long
and
lasting.
for years.
It's like
I'm talking
a
about years.
brotherhood.
It's
Right.
genuinely a brotherhood.
Right.
That you could go on and you don't. It's rare.
Right.
It's
And
really
you
rare.
sometimes you don't, even if you don't speak to someone for a few months,
Yeah.
they call and you
But
do,
we
it's
respect.
like you
so
pick up.
That's why,
just
like, if we
you
see your
left
lady,
off.
if I see Tuck lady, it's always gonna be love. She's sis. Like, yo, what's up,
Right.
sis? You good? It's not no thing. Like, if she gave me her number, let's just say me and her got each other's number. It's not on a thing where it's a malice or
Correct.
something behind. It's
Right.
just more about like, let's just say I'm like, yo, we do like if we hung out around each other a lot.
Right.
We go to dinners, niggas chill, niggas whatever. So then be
Right.
like, yo, we planning on going to Cancun
Right.
for my
Or
birthday.
like you doing a surprise
and Tuck-
party,
you and
or-
Tuck-
or
you
God
and Tuck
forbid
wanna-
there's some-
y'all want to come with us on a
Right.
couples trip.
Right.
You feel me? And then I ask. I'm gonna ask
Right.
Tuck
Right.
first. Then I'll send her the text because I'm sending it in a group chat to everybody.
Right.
You
Or
feel me?
God
It's not like a
forbid there's an
personal
emergency.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or emergency.
You know,
what I mean?
you just
Something
never
you what I mean?
know.
I mean, something happens and she needs to hit me up because say God forbid something happened to him.
Right.
Yo, you heard what happened? Nah, what happened? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then
Exactly.
it's, you know what I mean? That's what I feel where the lines is different when you got a nigga like, yo, but why it can't be me? Why is not, that niggas like that get fucked up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Niggas like that get fucked up.
You're right.
Why it can't be me? Why I gotta be him? Like, nah, my nigga, that's not the assignment.
Right.
You're a bozo for that. You know what I mean? Because niggas we not doing that. But if it's on some genuine, like he said, a lot of us been friends for over 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
30, or 30 plus.
Yeah.
Think about this. And the thing about that I could say I love about him, everybody. I remember before we started doing this podcast, I used to see Tut like every 2-3 years sometimes.
Right.
And whenever we stopped, he would ride through on the bike. He came to one of my barbecues. He came in a bike. Me and this nigga chopping it up like we ain't never lost a beat. It's just certain shit that's
Well,
just there.
that's when it's genuine.
No,
you
I'm
can just
saying.
pick up where you left off if you don't see somebody for years.
We never been fake with each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We never
right.
been fake
You
with
can
each
pick
other.
up where you left off with
know what I mean?
someone for years when it's genuine.
And that's what make me feel good is when you still have these relationships with people that you have for
That are constants
30
in your
plus
life
years
that you know won't go
since-
anywhere
that
and
you
will
know.
always have your back.
Like, just give you an example. I didn't even know. It just bugs me out. Is that a friend of ours, Bashim, did a beat. He liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Julio being Julio, I don't know. He told Bashim to send it to me.
Yeah.
So he'll tell you, send that shit to Tut. So Bashim send it to Tut. But this is a formula. Most of the time when we be in the studio, Bashim be me, him, and Bashim cooking up something is to get these opinions on to make the best product, and it always work out. But this goes back to when we was 15, 16 years old, and it's still
It was
in the
competitive.
game.
It was
Even
competitive.
when I
Right,
look at the best thing, one of the great hip hop moments I feel like when Cam and Mace put their differences to the side and they formed their podcast. When I look at their podcast, I think about me, him, and my cousin of the bond that we had with this hip hop and how we just could be talk about anything, from
Right.
sports to hip hop to life in general. We crack jokes like we were talking earlier about. I call him Special Agent Who.
Yeah.
It takes a real dude to just keep it real. Like, yo, dude, no, my man, you fucking did that.
Yeah.
That's
I
real.
I laughed at it when I saw him when he had a picture of me. I laughed at it. Like, you gotta understand. I know Tut. Just like
Right.
Tut knows me.
Right.
He knew me. He knew I was messing with my baby moms when other niggas ain't know I was doing that. He
Yes.
caught me. Out of
Yes,
all the
I
blocks,
remember
I see
that.
the fucking Jetta. And I see this Jetta pull up on me. Pull the window. Where you going? I got a big ass night bag in my shit. Like a big bag. I'm trying to front.
Overnight shit.
Overnight joint.
You live over here, you over here.
Yeah.
Where you go?
Yeah. So that's
And you sit there like, I'm dead serious. So when I sit there and say when she was made, I literally,
yeah, he knew that.
You know.
I know. It's like
Don't
you
ask,
not gonna-
ask me why I was hiding that shit. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
like, yo, keep it real with us, 100. My man, come on. Julio went away to college, and he recruited some girls. Because of him, I end up, whatever.
Right.
But
You ended up going to college and not
I
enrolled.
went to my college, Liz. I lived through him.
Yeah.
When he went away to Mercy
Mercy.
College, on that campus, don't think my ass wasn't going up there. Shit.
Yeah, he was up there.
And when they came down to his house party, because Julio was known for his house parties.
Yes.
House parties was legendary.
Yeah.
So when they came down to the house parties, shit, I'm taking
You
full
were
advantage.
there.
I'm taking full advantage. And like I said, Julio had the room that was kind of like the VIP. Only his close
Yeah. Only my
friends right there.
only my niggas would be.
So-
my man H would be DJing. It'd be Tut. It'd be me. It'd be Nux.
spot. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be the close, the
The
real
tight-knit
niggas. So we be in
circle.
there with the
Right,
females,
right.
we mingling, drinking.
Yeah.
We in there, whatever. I remember I had a nigga threw up behind my couch. Shout out my nigga Boogie. My nigga Boogie gave me the hammer, took out the clip, and I pistol whipped a nigga in the bathroom for violating in the crib.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this was going on. I'm telling you, Cameron. It was like Julio Mons when him and I felt this is how it was. I was in the streets early before them, right?
He was.
Well, really before him. Spot never really was like that. And but them two had their own place. They was because his mother used to leave.
Yeah,
Right.
go to
for
DR.
like
To
go
2
to
months,
DR,
so I had
right,
to go
right.
to the crib at 18.
Right.
Yeah, so
Shit
he
was
had
lit.
the crib, and so he was doing these parties. So from there, Spock had his. My aunt moved out and left them the
Left in
apartment.
Okay.
And so between Julio and his place, I would kind of
go back and forth.
I would go back and forth. Well, we all would go back and forth because if something was going on in Spot crib,
You always was
We-
going
we-
over
We'll be in
there.
there.
Something was happening
We used to
at
get
your
lunch.
crib.
We'll
you
go like when we was
Yeah.
working. No, we was in work. We was in camp, and they let you go home for lunch. I go
Right.
to Nugg's crib. We start playing MLB.
yeah.
We be doing all that shit.
And so then, like, we all was like video games head. So I think Spot got a video game and put Julio on to
Yeah.
wherever that boxing game was, and
Yeah.
we'd be in the Spot's crib with Julio.
yeah, Mike
And then-
Tyson punch out.
Yeah. So it was the Sega, some shit on Sega.
Oh, Sega, yeah.
Yeah. So
God,
and
Sega.
so then we would go. Julio had the nightlife, so we'll leave Spot crib. Now it's about Julio's crib because mom they had NYC Booms, so all the rappers and shit would be coming through Julio's block.
Yeah.
So we'll be out there to see who the fuck was coming.
Raekwon
through.
was out there one time. He was out there
Really?
smoking blunts with niggas. Yeah, niggas a lot of. We used to have a lot of rappers. We used to see a lot of rappers. We used to get them booms for free.
Yeah, so we
Know
go
what I mean?
right there. Spot was supposed to battle Pun. We talked them up.
Really?
Yeah, nah, I'm happy he didn't do that. Cause the crazy shit, that the backstory behind that is he was supposed to battle Pun, and he was gonna battle Pun on the Benjamin beat.
Yeah,
And you remember Pun had a song where he's like, "I even let you rap on the Benjamin beat."
I
They
still
killed him.
feel
That's
Pop
it.
Spot
Right.
would have got him. I
No,
still
no. Don't get me wrong. Prime Nux,
Mm-hmm.
not cause he my man. Not cause he my
I
man.
feel like he would have got him.
He had a song. I don't know if you ever heard that. He was in the studio. We was downtown, 28th Street. He said, "I'm coming for the game, nigga. I hang over." The engineer stopped the beat like, "Yo, what?" Like, "Yeah, nigga, say that, nigga." He's like, "Yo, I'm coming for the game, nigga. I hang over, niggas." I'm talking the whole session. The beat is bumping. This nigga, he's rhyming on the Joe Budden shit, pump it up shit. He killing that shit, Tut. And he said, I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. Whoever in the head of the game, I hang over. Yo, the engineer said, nah. What he said?
Wow.
You know, me in the back, I'm his biggest fan, nigga. I'm like, yeah, cuz, fuck that, nigga. Say that shit again, nigga. You know what I mean? So he was nasty. Like, he had a song called What Would You Do? He painted a perfect picture about a setup. He had this shit where he did some Eminem shit, where it's like, yo, bro, that kid was talented, man. He's one of the, know what I mean? I remember his first album was going to be called Behind the Music.
Wow.
Like,
and what happened?
No, he just, I mean, with rap it's, if it's not giving you the results you need at the point,
right?
Life happens. Niggas got kids. Niggas got to feed their families. So niggas, niggas.
I think honestly, like I always thinking about the group. I think kind of like when I was busy in the street. I wasn't really into it. Like I was into it, but really into it. So like I would really be the guy with them. Like, yo, we going to the studio. We doing this. Like how I am with him.
Right.
Like still that big brother kind of thing. Yo, this the beat, Mom, this is what's gonna be like, this is what we're gonna do like that. And kind of like when that I wasn't disciplined and when I kind of like faded out, it kind of like went whatever way. Who stayed with it. Right. And then everything like that. But I really felt like we could have did a lot of things with it, but I was whatever. We wasn't getting results right away. And I just think, but when I look at most guys in my peers, as far as groups that came out, I don't see nothing that they had that we didn't have that wouldn't result into some kind of success.
Right. So, but then speaking on the music shit, what you felt about Fetty Wap getting he got caught for 6 years, and then his explanation was that the money was running low, so he had to
because he didn't get any performances during COVID, so it cut his money.
He said he was out there selling drugs and all that because of financial struggles.
I think a lot of times when it comes to music, with the rap, even with us, I was in the streets, so we was able to go to some of the better studios and shit like that. And what happens? These guys portray an image, and then a lot of people just don't know how to budget their money. And I just think that's what it is.
You get $100K and spend $80K on a chain.
Yeah.
Right.
So you try to keep up with the Joneses instead of really doing good business and setting yourself up to win.
Because they in the business of looking good now instead of longevity.
Right.
That's what happens with a lot of these dudes. You hear these stories. Like, I don't know if y'all saw Snowfall.
Yes.
Y'all familiar with Snowfall?
Yes.
Familiar with Snowfall, right?
Yes.
So here comes this dude that's from, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna interrupt that, but here comes this dude that came out of nowhere. He sells drugs in his neighborhood. He reaches a certain level. He introduces crack to the label, whatever. So now he making millions of dollars. Now let's fast forward. So now they take the money. He's doing anything he can to get this money back. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. And then how he ended up, he becomes a bum, a liquor, a thing. Yeah. And then it goes back to that story. Everybody in the neighborhood, when they be like, yo, you know so and so? Yo, you know my man Tut, right? Yo, that nigga back in the day used to have man money. Right. Like, where that nigga over there? He drinking and all that shit? And be like that because at the end of the day, he had avenues where he could have been all right. Right. Longevity wise. Like, he had buildings. He sold that back to because he was so fixated on the money now instead of thinking longevity wise. Right. That's a lot of these dudes is so focused on having and showing what they have now instead of thinking longevity wise. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like,
but even a lot of celebrities also file bankruptcy.
Yeah. Just because you a celebrity doesn't make that you understand business. Exactly. Or understand budgeting.
Or have the right people budgeting your money. Because a lot of them hire accountants, and I put that in quotes, and then they end up in so much financial ruin.
I mean, just because you hire an accountant, that doesn't.
Yeah, but you hear a lot of these accountants taking the money.
That's what I'm saying.
Because dudes are not
and they end
focusing.
Up
When you
in-
making so much money,
right,
and
you don't
4,000
know,
is getting taken out every other day,
and sometimes
you're not paying attention to that.
right, and because they could take out a little at a time. Like if you're making like 30 million, and someone takes out like $2,000, and they start doing that like, twice or 3 times a week, a lot of times you don't catch that.
I just think you have to look at it, manning up and just being responsible. I think when you're irresponsible, it's easy to be irresponsible when money coming in. I've made a lot of money in my younger years, and I fucked up a lot of money. Trust me.
Right.
But I didn't make millions of dollars, but I made a good penny. Mm-hmm. And I fucked up a lot. Most of the shit I did. I'll be honest with you.
You have a dumb out period. I had a dumb out period when I was getting money and I was selling drugs and I was making a good money.
Right.
I would take my whole hood out.
So
You're talking about 20 guys, 30 guys.
Right.
I'm paying everybody way in.
Well, look what happened.
know what I'm
Let's
saying?
take it way back in the day with MC Hammer. He had made millions and millions of dollars, and within a short period of time, because he had over 100 people in his entourage, and he was taking care of everybody, and he ended up broke.
Yeah, everybody got a scheme. Everybody got to get money.
Everybody,
get money.
you
fast,
know,
what I
and
mean?
this is when everybody comes out the woodwork when you have money.
Yeah.
All these lost relatives, and you end up being the one that has to take care of everybody.
So I just think what happened with me, I learned early in the game, and I had people in my corner that told me, you should move like this. And I always look at people that was before me, my grandparents, and I say, you got to do things smarter, and I chose to do smarter. And I just think, a lot of people think or feel like, I'm a chauvinist. In my own way, I am a chauvinist, but I also believe like a good supportive woman will make you understand responsibility where you want to be and do better and make sure your lifestyle is maintained in a certain manner.
Right.
Where you don't go out and just do crazy shit. I contribute that to being in a relationship for us for a lot of years.
Right.
Where it's not just you, it's other people that depend on you.
Right.
So let me try to figure out the best way to make the thing. And like I said, I remember one of the best motivating things I saw is when Mama Envy and that little fat kid, Caesar, where he was talking about generational wealth, building it through real estate, and I kind of put it to the test, and it started working out. So
But you ain't have to call a man a fat kid.
I don't know the guy's name.
Well, just
Okay, you gotta
just-
stop. You gotta stop with worrying about people feeling shit. Yeah, right? I love you, but
Don't do that.
niggas
It's
do.
not nice.
You saying short people sound worse than midgets? You know that, right?
Little people.
Little people. That's
Little
how-
people,
look at
because
that. Well, the midgets
because
are little
Yeah,
person.
that's what I'm saying. I'd
because
rather call them midgets
because
than
that
little.
is because that is offensive to say the M word.
But little people
What's
sound
the
worse.
guy? No disrespect. What's the guy that we grew up with? You know who I'm talking about?
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude. He's still a cool dude.
Nah.
So following.
OG.
Okay, I don't look at him like I feel insulted calling him that. I mean,
Yeah.
I come on, I'm
Nah,
not
we
calling
did
him
like
that.
he was. He had his he had his disabilities and all that, but you wouldn't know. He did everything we did. Played basketball,
Right.
football.
But someone had. But you saying that the person has a disability is fine than saying something else.
No, yeah, I get
So-
that. But when you say little
I feel
people
more
versus
insulted
midget,
calling him a
I
little
feel,
person.
I feel midget is better than
They call him a
people.
little person.
We gonna agree to disagree.
Little
on that.
person
I
is the
agree with you,
correct
Julio.
terminology.
Yeah.
It's the correct word
To who?
versus and it's offensive.
To who?
It's offensive. Google it. It is a.
Who-
it is
who's these people behind
offensive.
Google, Julio? Imagine we going to telling him, yo, that's my man. He a little
So if I told a person fat versus big person,
Well, do you know that now there is a rule?
Mm-hmm.
There's a law for the EEOC where you cannot discriminate against someone based on their religion, gender, sex, sexual preference, etc. Now they have added weight and height to that as well.
And-
you cannot
and
you cannot
that's in a
you cannot discriminate.
Is that in a
someone based
professional
on their-
environment, right?
Professional.
Okay, professional environment. We talking about the hood. 1031.
Yeah, it's no.
1031. What I look like going in front of Joe? That's my man, and he a little part. Motherfuckers, he gonna look at me. Yo, what the fuck
Fine,
wrong
you
with
can
Chuck?
call them what you'd like.
I call him by his
But
name.
again, if I was to meet this person and describe this person, I would not describe them that way. I would say that I met a little person.
And I feel he'd be offended.
And you know, and not to call a little person. A lot of dudes got fantasies about smashing a midget, man.
Oh my God.
Respectfully.
I can't. Okay.
I'm not
All right,
doing
we're
it.
not
It's a lot
going.
of-
I'm not doing this today.
I'm not doing. I'm not fucking.
I'm not doing that with you.
I'm not fucking no midget.
I am not.
I'm not fucking no midget. You on your own
I
with that
am
one, bro.
not.
You on
We're
your
not
own.
doing
You don't
this.
fuck a midget?
We're not doing this.
Fire one, yeah.
We are
Yeah,
not
a
doing
fire
this.
I know ugly shit, a fire one.
Bridget the midget.
Oh my.
I gotta see what she look like. I
You
gotta
remember
look
her?
at- Have you seen a midget that look like Beyonce? You
All
ain't tapping it?
right.
I can't do it, man. Them little ass
Why?
legs. Nah, I'm not doing it.
All right. I'm tuning out. I'm
I'm
tuning
sorry,
out. All right.
man.
Unplug me. For
I
this.
can't do
I don't
that
wanna hear
shit.
this.
I can't do that, bro. I can't.
All right, so yo, let's talk about that Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless joint. You know, him leaving and all that.
Wow.
Do you feel like sometimes, you know, when you do things with certain people, is a limit, and then sometimes you got to branch off and just, you know, continue your journey by yourself? 'Cause
Right. Does that remind you of something?
I mean, I think.
Does it remind you of a famous episode?
All right, I'm gonna speak from the heart with this one. I think
Speak. That's what we want.
I'm gonna talk two parts. I'm gonna talk about Skip and Shannon, then I'll talk about where y'all trying to get at.
what Karen trying to get at?
Yeah, what Karen trying to get at. What Skip and Shannon, I think Skip is so much on Tom Brady balls. It don't matter who you are. If you ain't Tom Brady, you ain't the GOAT or whatever like that. And I feel like sometimes
So basically, Skip is biased when it comes to
Tom Brady.
Like,
Tom
I feel
Brady.
like
so
he just-
Tom, in his eyes, Tom
I
Brady
feel like,
can do no wrong.
I feel like Julio with Michael Jordan is the same thing as Skip
so yeah,
with Shannon Sharp. I think it's the same thing.
So Tom Brady could do no wrong.
Michael Jordan do no wrong in Julio eyes.
Okay.
No, I say he's the GOAT. In my eyes.
I
He
mean,
feel Kareem is the
it
GOAT in
is.
his eyes.
It is the year of 23. But go ahead.
Only time there's before you go on, the only time there's a debate is because they bring LeBron here. And I've never seen dudes make so much excuses for LeBron. Every year, he needs this, he needs that. You could put Luka, Kyrie, KD, Devin Booker, and LeBron James, and it still tell you how he need more people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna answer that later.
Yeah.
So Skip disrespected this man. I felt disrespected. That
He a Hall
I
of
felt
Fame.
like he disrespected him when that man's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, and he's also Hall of Famer.
And let's talk about Skip. In high school, he averaged 1.8 points, bro.
Yeah, so I
Like,
feel like
you was even balling in your JV team.
So I feel like a lot of times with this guy, Skip, I feel like Shannon should have stayed. I don't know what he has. Evidently, he must have something bigger
Right.
that's going to work out for him. But I understand how he felt like he was disrespected.
Right.
'Cause
And
that
when
was
you're
disrespectful.
when you're in a place where you're not respected,
Yeah.
it's best for you to journey on.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're not valued or respected,
Yes.
it's best to separate.
Now, when we bring it to What's Your Point podcast, I feel like me and my cousin, we kind of grew apart
Right. On the collaborative piece.
on the way we live our lifestyles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It has nothing to do
so
with the
this is
show.
outside of the show.
Yeah, it had
Okay.
nothing to do with the show. I
Okay.
felt like, the show was the bomb. He was the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And it was working, and we finally found our niche,
Mm-hmm.
and it was working. It
Right.
kind of took me like shocking that he didn't want to be a part of the show no more.
Mm-hmm.
for something that happened that was personal. Where, if you think about it, we still speak to this day. That's my
Right.
cousin. I love
Right.
my cousin. That
Right.
we're never going to stop speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He never think about it. Like I said in other shows, my mom died, bro. He loved my mother.
Right.
That man was crying like along with me that my mom wasn't there.
Right.
So it just shocked me that he didn't know, but he did what he did for himself, and I understand that. It's not I don't understand. I do understand that he did whatever he needed to do to make him feel good to continue on in life.
Right.
But it had nothing to do with the show. Where
I feel like, not to cut that off, but I feel like when with the Skip and Shannon thing, is that sometimes in life you only supposed to go far with certain things. You know?
Right.
When Skip gave Shannon a shot, people kind of didn't expect them to be what they was. But then Shannon's star started getting a little bit more brighter. You know what I mean? He pulled out the cognac. He started doing his own podcast thing.
Right.
And sometimes you outgrow. You know, sometimes your show reaches limit. Like
Right.
people killed Stephen A. with Max Kellerman. They had reached their ceiling. It was already, you could tell that the tension and everything was that. So when it comes to you know, like as far as the podcast thing with us,
Right.
you know, we it was maybe the space that we was in just wasn't for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to respect when a person, you know what I mean? Like, who's to say 2 seasons from now, you may want to feel, not to say you are, but you might want to go away. Or I might feel like, or Tuck might feel like, yo, you know what? I can do that. You have to respect that.
Right.
You probably reach a ceiling. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to this thing, you got to respect that, you know, sometimes people is going to be there, and not everybody you start with is who you end with. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know, you reach a level, you know, now you're ready to, you know, your brand is becoming a little bit more bigger than what that is. And then,
Agreed.
you know, the disrespect, the you know, dude is a Hall of Famer, bruh. You can't
Right.
say he's irrelevant.
Right.
You ain't never did nothing, bruh. All you did was write. You a writer. You're a journalist. At the end of the day, you have never ever been in a Super Bowl. You have never been in an NBA Finals. You never played in an NCAA tournament. Know what I mean? In high school, when you was on your team,
Right,
you averaged
that
1.8.
their accomplishments
You know what
are
I'm saying? So
different.
for you to diminish this man's credit, he's a Hall of Famer. At the end of the day, won 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
2 with the Broncos, 1 with the Ravens. Know what I mean? At the end of the day, but you could start seeing that Shannon was getting a little bit more, bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know what I mean? At the end of the day, is like I said in life, certain people, they start the journey with you,
Right.
but then, you know,
Right.
along the way, certain
Right.
certain
It just-
things start falling off the truck. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Just like in life, there's people in your life for a reason, and then there's people in your life for a season.
So, like with my cousin, I felt like his star got bright enough where I think eventually it was going to happen anyway. When I sat there and thought about it, because
He did say that.
the type of his show is not like this show.
Right. The format's
He's
different.
he's more different format, and I like his show. I kind of look forward to watching his show. I always knew that he can do it. It's a dope show.
Right.
I'm not taking nothing away from him. I just felt like it was personal stuff
that spilled over.
spilled over into his decision. But I can understand if he was feeling a certain way where he felt like he didn't want to do the show. I don't feel like you should do something you don't want to do anymore. And
Right.
I just think that's what he went on to do, was best for him.
Right.
And I felt like I produced it. I not only in this show I do the show with everybody, with Julio and you, but I also produce the show, and my job is to find the perfect fit, to sit there and look for how we can make the show better,
Right.
and answer some of the questions, because a lot of times people will always say, y'all need a woman's perspective and stuff like that.
We always used to get that on the show.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So my thing was, I felt like when there was a checkbox to bring you on board to check everybody's boxes,
Right.
where we can make the show not only be what it was, but a little bit better, more diverse.
Right.
Not to say he wasn't good.
Right.
I felt
right.
Like, because even if, like, let's just say if he was to want to come back, I'm not saying we accepting that, but I'm saying if he wanted to come back, I feel like you still would be needed on the show because you bringing a dynamic that we didn't have. You know,
Right.
From where
Understood.
we started, where we started this show, it always lacked the woman's
Point of view.
because
Right.
you got two barbarians and one and one you know dude
Right.
that's you know
Respectfully.
like I used to call him the Elizabeth Hasselbeck of the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he's
Okay.
politically correct. He does things a certain way, and that's why. When I thought about the show, I thought the dynamic of how it would work because I know
Right.
Tut is outlandish.
Right. Like
I know how I talk.
Like Tut is Charlemagne. You are Envy. And I'm Angela Yee.
Well, I don't got bitch tendencies like Envy.
No, I don't think he has bitch.
No, I mean,
tendencies.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
But
I
you
just
know.
think he's a total bitch.
Who, Envy?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes. Some of the shit he did.
So then, what you feel in the Rick Ross and him
I
thing?
don't
Do you think
think
that?
he's
Do you think there's a limit of how far you can go when you're going back and forth with somebody?
Okay.
I think it just. I think it just.
look
I
at
think
it
it just.
like this.
I think it started from Drink Champs, where with the this car show
Yeah,
thing,
car show
where
thing.
Rick Ross said that Envy wasn't on his level.
Was he?
And then it just got.
But
it
was
just,
he?
Again, they're on. They're both.
I want
They're
your
both.
honest
Wait.
opinions.
They're-
Your opinion. I want your opinion. Do you think his car show was on the level of Rick Ross' car show?
No, I think there were two completely different type of
So
car shows
why
because
would he
Envy
take
is
personal?
more. I think Envy's more family friendly oriented car show versus Rick Ross,
why
which is
would-
more exotic
Why
and
would he
upscale.
Why would he take it personal?
That's the question.
And so
That how did it get to that point with
because
all
when
of
he
these?
sat there, when Rick Ross basically sat there and say it's not even close, he's not on my level. It's a two total different car shows.
Right,
We're talking about I'm bringing out the best of the best.
right, like
He's
the
bringing an
top.
economically good car show. We're
Right.
not saying his show was whack. We're just saying.
And the
his is-
thing is that Envy's been doing these car shows for years, and they've all been successful.
Yeah, but he had Rick Ross had a video where he was saying, niggas want to profit off of this, but he said I'm only in it because I'm trying. Rick Ross put out the video where he's talking about how he want to make profit off it. So you got to make it make sense. Anything you do, you want to make money out of. Let's skip that. When he was doing the house and shit, and he was
Right.
asking
Get
them niggas
that-
to come
get
get the
that-
seminar
right, get
to
that-
learn that. All
right.
those people that were subscribing to that joint,
They had
they
to
was
pay.
paying.
You want to get a bag.
Yeah.
And I was one who followed. I got a bag because of DJ Envy. I'm not knocking him
Right.
for his knowledge. I got a bag. I went to the same town he was buying houses at. I bought a house in that town,
Nice.
and I got a bag.
Right.
It still pays off.
Well, when people was like, oh, how, I mean, like I said, he ain't saying nothing bad about the wife or whatever. He said, he's saying shit that was for a public record.
Right.
She
That
said
was
she
in
ain't
the
come in
book.
20 years.
That was in their book
She didn't
that
have-
they
she didn't
wrote
come in 20
together.
years.
In their book that they wrote
So
together.
You can't be mad if you put that out and made it public.
Right.
I think when you start dragging like how he did with
Gunplay. Yeah.
I think Gunplay should smack the shit out of him. This is a person where was you getting at? What was you going to accomplish by mentioning that this man's family had a GoFundMe for his daughter who has a situation? That
Right.
Thing-
But
and
now,
dudes
once,
is
but then
prideful.
he stopped because I think there was a cease and desist.
Yeah.
But then, of course, social media chimed in, and now they're questioning that whole GoFundMe because then Gunplay bought Rick Ross this enormous chain with all these diamonds in it, and now again, social media is like, where did you get that money from to buy this man this chain when you're asking for money for
But you gotta-
your child that is ill?
Like a lot of people was like, oh, wow, Rick Ross ain't help him. But I'm saying, like, it's a prideful thing. We
Right.
men is prideful. So let's say Tut Hurd.
But how do we know if Rick Ross didn't help him? Maybe he did.
But I'm
send
saying,
him a
though, at the
check
end of the day,
privately,
it
that
wasn't-
it was not public knowledge.
It wasn't Envy's
That's
job,
the thing with
but that's just to show you how the reckless speaking that he did when he did on the show. He sat there and said, I know if it was Clue, that if Clue had to GoFundMe, I wouldn't even allow that right there. You don't know what this man did for him.
Right.
So
Exactly.
he was totally wrong. He took something that was basically public, not even public, like fair game, far as each other's car shows.
Right.
And it wasn't gunplay.
It's, like,
His
it's the
wife
same
did
thing.
it.
Think about it. Like,
Right,
think about
yeah.
the differences that me and my cousin ever had. I never made nothing personal
Right.
about
Right.
what he do. I don't talk about personal because at the end of the day, like I said, my mom's, when she passed, even at the repast, I had my family. My cousin was right there, sitting right next to me. And I'm talking about this is in the height of what people figured the Cold War. That
Right,
he was
right.
sitting right next to me in the repast and shit like that.
Right.
So I just felt like Envy was just out of bounds with that right there. You speak on facts, like if facts. You don't talk about this man's child. Like I'm not gonna speak on the kids.
Right.
You don't do that. Like, yo, you just out of line with that shit. That's pure bitch.
Yeah, but you gotta understand it.
So Julio, you're not envy. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
You know.
It's pride.
But Tut, you are Charlamagne.
It's pride. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about pride.
Right.
You know, when you come with this, it's a prideful thing. A lot of dudes, like, we all men here. So let's just say I'm hurting. I'd rather do it how I do it before I go ask Tut or Mike or somebody, yo, bros, I need. Because it's a pride thing.
Right.
So when people's expecting Rick Ross to give Gunplay this money for his daughter, maybe Gunplay was so prideful, he ain't want to go ask Rick Ross for that money. He was just like, you know what? I'm going to get it how I get it. Because at the end of the day, Tut money is Tut money.
Right.
That's not my money. No matter how successful he is, that's his money.
Right.
You know, just because he's rich, he's supposed to take care. And sometimes maybe his man ain't come up to him and ask him for that.
Correct.
You know, because he was trying to be like, yo, I'm going to get it my way. And then the wife took it upon herself to do the pay. It wasn't Gunplay that was asking for it. It was the wife that said, I'll do a GoFundMe for my daughter. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just think a lot of times I even go back to, and I'm only speaking on this because we made it public on other shows. It was a time where Julio's situation was kind of fucked up, and the infamous "How You Gonna Eat" thing came about to play.
Yeah.
And Julio caught feelings behind the shit. I still don't know how the hell he got his fist
my hand through that window.
Through that
Shit
window.
was this much.
He got the whole fist through the shit. Through the shot, everything. I'm telling you, this shit was funny. I'm dead serious. So
He said it as a joke, but at the
Right,
time,
right.
I ain't take it as a joke because the niggas is hurting. You feel what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, money was fucked up. So,
So he said that, right? So, but that's between the brothers. It
Right.
never really got out
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
to other people. So they squabbled, did whatever they did. Nobody knew about it because that was amongst us, because it was amongst family.
Right.
even to say that, he's my right hand, right? He'll ask everybody around the circle for something before he asks me. That's a known fact. I told him about that. He'll hit Rock up. He'll hit Crip up. Tut, I don't know if he might hit Tut up.
Now he'll steal shit from me.
Okay,
So
well, I don't know about that.
that's
but
just how he gonna steal the shit.
I don't know
from
about
me.
that. But I know when
I'm
it comes,
telling you,
when it comes to
that's what
borrowing
he gonna do.
something,
Right.
that man will
Steal
go
my
around.
car, steal my
around
car,
me
everything.
instead of asking me. I guess it's a pride thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This
Right.
is the
Right.
pride thing. Like
Right.
I told this nigga, and the thing I said is, when I was explaining this Gunplay shit, I said, nigga, it's the same thing you do. If you hurting and you need something, you'll go ask Rock to lend you $200 before you ask me for $200.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you'll hit Crip up.
Right.
You won't come to me. He don't come to me for nothing. But you know what I mean? It's the thing with men. It's a pride thing. You feel what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like I just think like Envy, that was just a pure bitch. Like you don't do that. You don't bring other people into. Me and Spock differences, and mind you, I met Julio through Spock. Like that's Spock's best friend. They're like that.
Right.
Julio's still my dude, but I met him through Spock. I understand they have a bond that's a little bit different.
Right.
But I never felt, or I never brought Julio into our differences, and Spock never brought Julio into our differences.
Right.
So
See, I understand these two dudes. Like, I understand Tut and I understand Cuzzo.
Right.
You know what I mean? So them
Right.
dudes, when anything goes on between them, I done been around this rodeo when Tut wasn't speaking to this nigga for like 3 years, and I'm like, yo, bro, that's your cousin at the end of the day. Nah.
Right.
And then next you know, I see these niggas. These niggas is bike riding through Monticello. You know what I mean? It gotta make sense, bro. You know what I mean? This is what they do.
Right.
Now I mean, this is something that's in their character. Only
Right.
they understand. It's like you and your man in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Y'all go through whatever y'all go through, and motherfuckers be like, oh it's over between them, and then y'all back together. It's like, no, we understand our shit.
Exactly.
Gotta let people, you know what I mean, and they understand
Right.
their
Let
shit.
them work it out.
You know what I mean?
So
'Cause it's gonna
and
work out.
And that's just what it was. Where it was between the two of us, where, you know, I understood, you know, me and him may have our differences, but people don't understand. Like, yo, I see this dude. Like, he'll pass by, yo. Even when it was when people really felt like me and him wasn't fucking with each other. He driving the bus and he throwing the middle finger at me. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. And Julio laughing. It is what it is. And I just feel like guys like Envy, he was just out of line. You making it personal.
Like
You're
if it's
talking
me,
about a car show.
if it's me, like if it's me,
Right.
and me
It
and
started
you, keep
over
it me
a
and
car
you.
show.
Know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, and when people were saying that Ross was out of line, because he was saying, but I'm saying that's public record. You made a book about
Right.
your wife saying she ain't come in 20 years.
Yeah. That
I'd have been looking at my wife like, what the fuck you was doing all this time? I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Well, clearly they must have had that discussion before they allowed it to be disclosed.
I mean, just
Yeah,
certain shit. I'm not
you
gonna
gotta.
sign
I
up
just
for.
feel like you gotta think about it. Like, I'm not gonna shine anybody that I care about in a negative light. The way, even if they fucked up, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yo,
Right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't. You gotta sit there and think about it, man. Like, this is grown people shit. When you grown, you understand. You kind of put yourself in the next person's shoes.
Right.
No matter how much my cousin pissed me off or whatever like that, I let it be known I will fuck you up if you violate him. That's just
Same
what
way
it
with me.
is.
It's
Right.
my man.
You're not gonna do that.
Right.
my bro.
Right.
You know
I
what
love
I
that
mean?
nigga.
I can
Right.
do that between us.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's just
right.
a little bit different
But
'cause
that
we do the
but that
podcast.
doesn't give you the next person a
It's
pass
not
to
gonna
do that.
happen.
But it's the thing, 'cause
Exactly.
that's the thing. I'm overprotective of all these guys. Like we had a show where they was like, "Oh, you don't gotta go do that for me, bro." I'm the type of nigga. If I hear a nigga talking about Tut, I feel offended. If I hear somebody talking about True, Mike, anybody, y'all
Right.
my niggas, I'm gonna go the extra mile.
Right.
I'm
And
like
be
that.
like, "What you
I'm
say?"
not what you said about my man, and I'm
Right.
gonna knock your head in, bro. That's what I do. I've done it, and I'm gonna continue to do that because my friendship and how I move and how I maneuver and how
Right.
I think, I'm just a different breed. I'm not asking niggas to do that for me, and they're
Right.
not asking me to do that. But I'm ready to take that for them. You know what I mean? That's
So when you think about, like, when you have genuine friends, I think a lot of people don't really have like genuine friends, like that really, like, yo, they your people sit there and see your brother. Like, I remember, and he never, my man Mike right here, like, he never said nothing, but I remember when I had broke my leg in 2000,
Mm-hmm.
and I was fucked up. I couldn't do nothing. These motherfuckers would come, help me out, come to the hospital, him and my other bro. And, you know, I always appreciate the shit. I remember one time remember you had the 300 and I needed it for a date. Never was a second guess. Yo, do the keys. Yo, I ain't have a whip that I felt that was suitable to take a girl out.
Right.
So Mike just had, that's when Chrysler just dropped the 300.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a 300. I'm like, yo, let me use the car. Mike, like, yo, go ahead.
Right.
Just bring the car.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you build, it's when the motherfuckers, when you down and out or when you fucked up
You
in
know
the game.
who's there.
That you know that's there and shit
Right.
like that. Where,
That's the ones that.
yeah, when you in the
100%.
hospital, motherfuckers come see you. Like, yo, I remember twice. Like,
But you at your words, bro.
when I'm at my word, I remember I was so pissed off. Me and him was in school, become EMTs together. And right after we finished and shit like that, I caught appendicitis. My appendix ruptured. I'm in the fucking hospital for my fucking birthday. I'm pissed. Imagine being in the hospital. I can't hang out, and I'm used to hanging out with these dudes
Right.
on the weekends and shit, going to most of that spot, Riddlers and shit. We hanging out. I'm pissed, Karen. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. My body letting me down.
You used to chillin' Riddlers, bro? I didn't know you used to chillin' Riddlers.
Yeah, Mike put me on the Riddler.
That's on Westchester, right?
Yeah, Mike put me on the Riddler.
It's be in there.
Mike
I took a nigga bottle in there one time.
Oh, wow.
We said it, bro. You know I got, you know what I mean? Yo, bro, the nigga had the bottle right here. There's mad joints on the left of me. This nigga done walked. When you know, Marilla's used to come in. The bathroom was right there, right here. It was the DJ was all the way on the top because it was in the back spot.
Yeah.
Nigga left the bottle of Henny right there, bro. I looked at that shit. I'm from Freeman, nigga. Know what I mean? I'm like, yo, pay this or take that.
Ken, I'm talking about we was hitting the club, hitting the spots
Right.
every weekend. In the middle of the shit, I caught a fucking appendicitis in the summertime. I'm pissed. I can't hang out. I can't drink. I can't do
Can't
shit.
do nothing. You had to
Him
get
and
your
my
health
dude
back.
used to come to the hospital, come chill with me and hang out.
No, that's real
Not
funny.
just that, I had broke my leg. Maybe a year or two later, they once again the same crew. They coming out, hanging out with me and shit like that. I remember my birthday, yo. That shit meant the world to me, yo. On my birthday, them dudes came. They knew it was
Right.
my birthday. Them dudes came and hung out with me for my birthday. I'm in the fucking hospital, fucking stitched up, can't drink or nothing. I'm jealous. Like they get to hang out. They like, nah, we gonna chill with you and shit
See?
like that.
Oh, that's real friendship.
That's true friendship.
So when you get that bond, you don't forget that. A real person don't forget that.
Right.
And when you don't, and that's how it is with my cousin. Like, yo, that dude was a real dude. When they come to me, like, yo, I really fucks with that dude. We fight and shit like that and argue. That's just the nature we
Yeah,
are.
like the
Right.
fight was more about hurt and shit that was just lingering from years.
Yeah.
that I held
Yeah,
inside.
that
I
was-
shoulda-
that was
I should have
internal.
approached him because any other time
Yeah.
I would have stepped him, but I can't. I felt like it was more of a
That
gut
was-
punch
that
that,
was
it came
pent
from him
up.
asking.
That-
Especially
yeah, that
when you
was
know
pent up
when
internal
niggas know
pain.
that I'm a prideful nigga. Because Tuck can tell you, I know Tuck for a lot of years. I never caught Tuck like, yo, bro. Know what I mean? I know if I hit him up,
Right.
if I needed it, he gonna give it to me. I know that for sure, but I've never been that type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? So from when my daughter got sick and I'm hitting niggas up, and then for me to hear from somebody else that my right hand, like if it was some regular nigga, it wouldn't have hit me as hard. I'd be like, it's cool. I'm like, yo, why you asking? You feel me? That's how I
Right,
felt at
right.
at the moment. So that shit, that was just shit lingering. And then, like I said, we was there drinking, chilling. Know what I mean? We got there. I got my kid in the building. We start talking a little spicy. I'm not gonna let you talk spicy in front of my kid, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
So when people was like asking me, yo, how you can sit there and laugh, they was gonna fight. I said, them motherfuckers, man, I've
They'll
been
be
dealing
friends
with this.
in 10 minutes.
I dealt with this. I dealt with this shit since the 90s,
Since
1990.
right.
Like I dealt with these two back
Right,
and forth. That's why I was able to laugh because they know. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that this motherfucker didn't know that this shit was gonna be. I was gonna have all kind of jokes on.
Oh no,
on
no,
them.
yeah, he did, because we spoke. But see, the thing is, and not just with Cuzzo, my other man too, is like niggas know me out here, right? So there's a line you can't cross with me.
Right.
Them niggas, they teeter off that line because that's my man. He not going. I don't fight my brothers.
Right.
You feel me? And if you ever heard me in the thing, I said, yo, I'll let you get the first swing. Because once you swing on me, all bets is off. Now I can react how I react.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. But at the same time, like, it'd be certain things where niggas will be like, oh, no, that's who. He gonna let that rock. You feel what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So that day, it was just like I said, shit just festered how it festered and it became
was
what it
all
became.
built
You know what I'm
in.
saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what And like I said, when me and him had a talk, when Cooler
Heads prevail.
He's like, yo, you don't respect. I was like, nah, I respect you wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? I never judged a nigga for how he do what he do.
Right.
Because my thing is, you do what you do, but don't judge me for what I do.
Right.
Know what I mean? Like, people want to be like, oh, you need a girl. I don't need a girl. Because the same way that people ain't having kids, at a certain, a lot of people don't have kids. They choose not to give birth to, you know what I mean? And they
Right.
living their life how they live it.
Yes.
Who am I to tell somebody, yo, you should have a kid?
Can't tell
How the
me
fuck
that.
you live your life without a kid? It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That's just,
Plenty of people do that every day.
yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So it's just like with me, I knew you talking about people who got 30-something years, a 30-something year relationship with each other, where I know him like a buck, I know my cousin like a buck, and I knew that shit wasn't going nowhere, but I just had to let them know that yo,
Yeah, and
this
Tuck hit me with the riot act. He started breaking down the mob shit. I'm like, nah, I get that, bro. And like I said, at the moment when I was still heated, I was ready. Like I remember I told my kid's mother, like, I'm not talking to that dude ever again, bro. It's clip for that kid. You know what I mean? Then we spoke, and then it was just like that. But it's always a level of respect for that nigga. I mean, don't get it wrong. Any nigga violate my dude, It's on site, nigga.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm like that.
Exactly.
Know what I mean? I'm really like that.
But
so
I'm glad that it all worked out.
No. We like, but like I said, what people saw that day, not to go back on that, is what we, Tut, and him been going through for years. Mm-hmm. Tut and him, they do good. They separate.
Yeah, it's like peaks and valleys.
Then now
It
they
goes
ride
up
and
and
bike
down.
through Peak Valley High. You know what I mean?
It goes up and
they
down.
They good. That's
but
what they
that's
do.
But that's what relationships are.
But the-
They go
but the-
up and
but-
down. But you know, at the end result is you know who your ride or dies are.
But I feel like a lot of people look at me bad on both sides is because him and Julio fight way more than me and him. I never fight with this guy. We have disagreements, but for the most part, all our lives, I guess because we're the same sign, it's just like whatever. That's
I was about
that's
to
Julio.
say that's definitely a Cancer thing.
Yeah, but him and Julio always go at it.
Right.
Worse than me and him. Think about it. Me and him never really had an argument on camera like that. I say what the fuck I want to say, and then that's it. Him and Julio, they
go at it.
They go at it.
See,
but I'm always fine. It's my fault. Yo, that was your call. You should have did this. Why was you laughing like that? I was laughing like that, motherfucker, because the shit was funny.
So you the bad guy.
And I knew I was going to have a joke behind the shit like that. Julio knew it instantly. I could tell after the shit was done, like, yo, this motherfucker Tuck got me. He got something over me.
So you ended up the bad guy.
I'm always going to be the bad guy regardless.
See, but unlike the Skip and Shannon thing, we want him to do good. You know what I mean? So
Of
you know,
course.
do good with your podcast. He's in a space where he doing what he want to do, how he wanted to do it.
Right.
Because we was bumping heads also on the direction of the show. Me and Tuck felt a certain way. He wanted to do it a certain way. You know, sometimes the ideas and the dream don't align. You know what I mean? So me and Tuck was more in the same headspace of where we find our
The
shit now,
direction,
where we
right,
at
and
now.
the
You know what I mean?
vision.
With
The vision and the
vision of
direction
how
you
we
want
want
it to go.
how we want the show to be. So
Right.
sometimes he's in his space, he's doing his thing how he want to do it, and he's doing good, man. Follow his podcast, Don't Kill the Messenger. You know what I mean? And we like unlike Skip, we wasn't hurt by him shining. You know what I mean?
Right.
If he goes on and he gets what he gotta go get, let him go do that. We want him to do the best because we gonna keep doing what we doing.
Correct.
We ain't concerned about dimming nobody lights here. Us here, we want everybody to win. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because
Right.
it goes back to my analogies. There's not one chicken place. You want Bojangles, you want KFC, you know what I mean? You want Popeyes, you want churches, you know what I mean?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. The list continues, you know what I mean? Life is
Right.
about, like you see it all the time. Dudes, Russell, KD, James Harden all played in the same thing. Dudes wanted to be their own men on their own team.
Right.
KD went to Golden State, learned how to win. Now he went to the Brooklyn. That shit was a shit show. You know what I mean? Now he in Phoenix trying to do the same shit, trying to get all type of help so he could win another championship to prove that he ain't need Steph and them. You know what I mean? So, with the Skip and Shannon, shout out to Shannon, let him continue doing his thing.
Right.
And hopefully Skip get a dude that brings what Shannon brought. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you're gonna find a guy like that. It's really, you know how hard it is. Really, people don't understand to really produce a show. Like you really got to figure out. You got to have 100% confidence in somebody. Two, you got to really see if they're gonna mesh with this person or they're gonna bring their inner, bring whatever flavor they have, and would this person accept the flavor that the new person is gonna bring,
Right.
and stuff like that, and trust. And like I said, with my cousin, I always, like Julio said, the piggyback off it, pause, was that my cousin in the back, when we have our conversations or meetings about the directions of the subject matter, my cousin kind of wanted to do more of what he's doing now. Mm-hmm. And our audience don't really, we're not that kind of show.
Right.
They like to see the banter.
They want to see
They like to see
The
you
back and
versus him.
forth.
The female
The
getting
female
at the caveman
Yeah.
Yeah, so
mentality.
like,
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
and so it's like with me, I like watching his kind of show.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
No, the
that's
show's
not,
good. I like
that's
the show.
not what this show does.
Right.
And
Right.
So we're more well-rounded. He's more news-driven. He's able to put out content a little faster.
Right.
Where we're more of social. We just about our, what goes on in everyday life and the new current. We're not with the current events and stuff like that. We're more of what the fans dictate, what they want to hear, what they want us to talk
Definitely.
about.
Right.
Always leave a comment.
Yes,
under the
leave
thing.
comments, please.
And
Let
so
us
it's like,
know if there's certain topics you want us to discuss.
And so it's like more of really living out what Julio's vision, and I kind of co-sign with the vision of taking my childhood and bringing it into in front of the cameras,
Right.
and still being forever young.
Right.
Facts.
So it's with the way you see me and him back and forth.
That's why we was young.
Special agent who?
Yeah.
Agent.
There's nothing
Special
different.
agent.
That would have been in the 90s. That's just what it.
We always had that. That's why when like I said, when I sat down, I was thinking, I'm like, this is something that we need, because I need the world to see how we used to be in Tuck car, driving around when we was listening to Big Pun album or whatever. We in Co-op City, we stop in a little block or something, niggas is there listening, and then we start arguing about what we argue about: sports,
everything. Doesn't
women.
matter. Everything's
Yo, it don't count. No, nigga, it don't count.
Oh, jeez.
If I did 4 humps on the girl, did it count? Did I
Nah,
fuck her?
it didn't
You would
count.
say no. What do you say, Cam?
I say, please, let's get to our point of the day.
Yeah.
My point of the day: if I hump the girl 4 times, do it count?
It don't.
I want Cameron's thing. Do it count?
Who? What's your point of the
If
day?
I put my thing in a woman 4
Who?
times,
What's your point of the day?
My point of the day is
I'm not entertaining this with you. You bugging.
Yeah. My point of the day is simple. 2 things. Let's stop putting age on anything that we doing. You know what I mean? As far as like, if you're gonna give in an uproar about one side
Right.
of the demographic, be constant with the other side, and let them get the same flack that the other side, you know what I mean, gets. And at the end, and also my other point of the day also is, don't be afraid to let the brand grow. You know, just because you start a journey with something doesn't mean that in the ending of your journey, the what you started with is what you end with.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's my point of the day.
My point of the day is, if you have people in your life that you cherish, keep them there forever. As you know, friendships are hard to come by. And if you have true lasting friendships, please continue to keep that closeness with those people.
All right,
Don't let those friendships go.
You got a real point of the day, or you still gonna ask that same question?
Yeah, I got a real point of the day.
All right.
Ken, if I put my thing in somebody and I pump 4 times, I want to answer yes or no. Do it count that
How long
did I have sex
yes or
with her?
no? That's it. Just give him what he wants. Yes or no? See or no?
What is your point of the day?
Did I fuck her or not?
What is your point of the day?
If I put my penis in a female and I humped her 4 times and then it stopped, yes or no, did I fuck her?
Tune in next.
I'm not answering
Are you going to
that.
answer the question?
I'm not answering
She's
that.
not answering, bro.
That means
And happy belated Father's Day to all the dads. I'm not answering that.
well, anyway, my point of the day is
What does this have to do? What is that? That question has nothing to do with me.
I was asking a question from a female's
He's asking a
perspective.
female perspective. That's all.
You want to answer it?
Go ahead. What's the question?
If I put my thing in a female and I humped her 4 times,
Does
And
it
it-
count
do it
as a
So
kid?
so basically, you're asking if there was penetration.
no, it
Entrance-
was penetration.
So there was entrance and penetration.
Yeah.
Did you? Yes.
Julio said it don't count. But Julio also said that he wouldn't date her. And I said, why? Because he said, because you fucked her. I said, but you said I didn't fuck her.
Nah, you put your thing in there though, bro.
But you said I didn't fuck her.
You did fuck her. You semi fucked her.
But Karen said I did. So we're going to my
Ah,
point
I mean,
is
yeah. Get
my
to your
point-
point of the day.
my point of the day is that life is short, and sometimes you start a journey with somebody and then they don't necessarily end that journey with you together. So I take it as getting on the highway. We both get on exit 39. I may exit at 45 and you exit at 46. but enjoy the travel time that y'all had together.
Facts.
And that's my point of this day.
Amen.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Follow us on What's Your Point, the podcast on IG. Subscribe. And if you got anything you want us to talk about, ain't nothing we not scared to talk about.
Please
Hit us
put in the comments.
Send us a DM. Holla at us. See y'all. Peace.
Strategic cut. Theme song of this hustler. Yes. Thank the customer for loving us. Yes. Everything bakery can't fuck with us. Y'all heard me right. You niggas can't fuck with us.